Of course, we shall continue with foreign currency risk management. Last week, we started this topic. We explained the concept, the terms, and terminology that are associated with foreign currencies. We started by looking at the foreign currency market, a market where you can buy or sell foreign currency. At this market, individuals, corporate organizations, institutions can buy or sell foreign currencies at an exchange rate. At an exchange rate, this exchange rate, we define it as the number of units of one country currency that can buy 1 unit of another country currency. For example, how many units of Naira can buy $1? If you go online, check Naira to dollar, maybe like 1,700 Naira to $1. The number of units of Naira that can buy $1 is what we call the exchange rate between Naira and dollar. We explained that this exchange rate Mr. Ivan, can you mute? Please, when you get to the classroom, please check your speaker. To prevent a situation where we have to deal with external interference. All right, let's continue with the class. The exchange rates can be quoted in ways: direct quotation or indirect quotation. We explain direct quotation. Number of units of domestic currency that can exchange for 1 unit of foreign currency. Like the example we gave, 1,700 Naira to $1. Direct quotation. Number of units of domestic currency that can exchange for 1 unit of foreign currency. If exchange rate is stated in terms of the number of units of domestic currency that can buy 1 unit of foreign currency, that is direct quotation. Number 2, indirect quotation. That is the opposite of direct, whereby exchange rate is stated in terms of the number of units of foreign currency Let's continue with the class. I had a temporary network glitch, but we are back. So we are trying to explain, or we are trying to do a recap. So we are looking at the type of rate: spot rate, forward rate, cross rate. We looked at the rules for buying and selling currency. We have 4 rules. 1, currencies are quoted from the viewpoint of the bank. Number 2, when customer is willing to buy currency, bank will sell. Alternatively, when customer is willing to buy, alternatively, when customer is willing to sell, bank will buy. There must be a buyer. There must be a seller. If the customer is willing to buy foreign currency, that means the customer is the buyer. We sell. Bank is the seller. Alternatively, if the customer is willing to buy or to sell, you must identify the buyer and the seller. Rule number 3, for direct quotes, bank will buy at the lower rates and sell at the higher rates. For indirect quote, bank will buy at the higher rates and sell at the lower rates. Please note this. Relationship between direct quotes and indirect quotes is reciprocal. Always remember this. Relationship between direct and indirect quote is reciprocal. We now look at currency appreciation or currency depreciation. What is currency appreciation? Currency appreciation is a situation where the number of units of domestic currency needed to buy 1 unit of foreign currency falls. That is, we require less quantity of naira to buy dollar. That means naira is appreciating. Currency depreciation is a situation where more of a particular currency is buying the same units of another country currency. That is currency depreciation. We now look at the exchange rates determination theory. The theories of exchange rate determination. What are these theories? We discuss interest rate parity theory, whereby it is argued that the fluctuation in interest rates is responsible for fluctuation in exchange rates. That is, the interest rate parity theory. We equally discuss purchasing power parity theory, whereby it is argued that the fluctuation in inflation rates is responsible for fluctuation in exchange rates between two currencies. Any of these theories can be used to forecast future exchange rates. We now discuss foreign currency risk. We discuss foreign currency risk or foreign currency exposure, transaction risk, and economic risk. Thereafter, we look at measures, actions that could be taken, or measures that could be taken to protect a company against fluctuation in exchange rates. These measures are categorized into two. The measures are categorized into two. We have the internal measures, otherwise known as non-financial measures. Under the internal measures, we have leading and lagging, invoice in home currency, matching, netting, and do nothing. We discussed this. We now rounded up the class with external measures. The external measures are also called the financial measures because we use financial derivative products. Financial derivative products to hedge against fluctuation in exchange. What are these measures? We have forward exchange contracts, that is the forward market. We have money market hedging. We discuss currency futures hedging. We discuss currency options. And we rounded up the class with currency swap. That was where we stopped last week. Tonight, our focus will be on the application of this principle to calculation. We are going to start with question number 1. Please refer to page 123 of your study pack. Please refer to page 123 of your study pack. If you are there, we can go to the question. Excuse me, please. All right, thank you. Please allow me to take water, please. All right, can we go on with this question? I'm assuming that we have opened this question on our question 1. Let me expand this. A part of the question. Discuss 2 types of foreign exchange exposure which can arise in respect of transactions involving a foreign currency. What are the types of foreign currency exposures? That is, what are the types of foreign currency risk? We discussed this last week. There are 3 types of foreign currency. One is the translation risk or translation exposure. What is translation risk? This is the risk of losses or gains arising on the translation of the financial statements of foreign subsidiaries. Translation risk. The risk that arises as a result of converting the financial statements of foreign subsidiaries into the currency of the parent company for the purpose of preparing consolidated accounts. It arises in international companies with foreign subsidiaries. The income statements and statement of financial position of the foreign subsidiary will be denominated in local currencies of the subsidiaries, and on consolidation will be translated into the currency of the parent company. In the process of converting the currency of the foreign subsidiary to the currency of the parent company, that can give rise to exchange gain or exchange loss. This is what we call translation exposure. Number 2, transaction exposure. What is transaction exposure? This is the foreign currency risk that arises in transactions between 2 parties where the normal transaction currency of each party is different. And when the transaction involves future receipts or future payments, I'll take that again. Translation exposure, transaction exposure. This is the foreign currency risk that arises in transaction between two parties, where the normal transaction currency of each party differs. For example, if I'm buying goods from South Africa, my company is based in Nigeria. My currency is in Naira. I want to buy goods from a company in South Africa with a currency of Rand. That means the two parties, my company and the company in South Africa, our normal transaction currency is not the same. My currency is in Naira. My supplier in South Africa currency is in Rand. And the transaction involves a future payment or future receipts. The amount received or paid in domestic currency might be different from the amount originally expected because of fluctuation in exchange rates. Between the dates of the initial transaction and the date of settlement, transaction was initiated today, 23rd of September, but the payment will be made in 1 month's time. There is a gap. There's a timing gap between when the transaction is consummated and when the actual payment is made. That gives rise to translation risk. Number 3, economic risk or economic exposure. Economic exposure refers to the long-term movements, long-term fluctuation in exchange rates that can affect the competitiveness of a country. This risk can reduce the present value of a future cash flows from foreign transaction. It is the risk that a company may choose to locate its operation in a country where currency gains value. If you look at some companies in Nigeria have moved to Ghana. For example, Dunlop PSC. Dunlop has relocated to Ghana. Why? Because Ghana currency is appreciating in value. Why Nigerian currency is depreciating in value? This economic risk can force a company to relocate its operations to another country where currency appreciates in value. The consequences of this is that domestic currency will lose the ability to compete. The reality is facing us. Naira does not have the ability to compete with other currency. Even Benin Republic currency. All right. Deliberately, we have taken pain to explain this again. Because your exam is a combination of calculation and theory. About 45% of your question is likely to be in theories. That means as you are preparing for calculation, you also prepare along with the theories. What is important for you now is to pass the exam. Whether you do calculation or you do theory, your first task is to achieve success in the exam. All right? We are done with the A part of the question. The B part of the question. The B part of this question. Just 1 minute. All right, let's go to it. Owiya Osese PSC, a Nigerian company, is due to receive 500,000 waka, the currency of an African country, in 6 months' time for goods supply. The company has decided to hedge its currency exposure by using the forward market. Look at that statement, or look at that sentence. The company has decided to hedge its currency exposure by using the forward market. The short-term interest rate in Nigeria is 50% per annum. And the equivalent rate in African country is 18%. So we are giving interest rate in Nigeria, interest rate in African country. The spot rate of exchange is 2.5 waka to naira. That means as of today, the spot rate is 2.5 waka to naira. That means to buy 1 naira, you require 2.5 waka. You are required to calculate how much Owiya Osese PSC actually gained or lost as a result of hedging instruments. That is, if the company hedge, the company has decided to hedge by using forward market. Now the question is, you are required to calculate the exchange gain or loss. If at the end of 6 months, the Naira in relation to Waka has gained 4%, Roman figure 2, lost 2%, Roman figure 3, remains stable. Note, you may assume that the forward rate of exchange simply reflects the interest rates differential in the two countries. That is, it reflects the interest rate parity analysis of forward rates. This is a good question, because by hedging, a company may gain or lose. The intent of hedging is not to make profits or to make loss, but to remove uncertainty. The primary purpose of hedging is not to make profits or to make loss, but to remove uncertainty surrounding currency fluctuation. All right, let's move this. If you are faced with questions of this nature, you are required to hedge. Please start with the analysis of the relationship. Analyze the relationship between the two currencies. Look at the analysis. Owiya Osese PSC is based in Nigeria. The company is based in Nigeria. Hence, Naira is the domestic currency. Where the company is located, the currency of that country is the domestic currency. Naira is the domestic currency. This company is expected receipt in 6 months' time, 500,000 Waka. Therefore, Waka is the foreign currency. Therefore, Waka is the foreign currency. Now, exchange rate information given in the question. The exchange rates information given in the question. We have identified domestic currency, Naira, foreign currency, Waka. Examiner says 2.5 Waka to Naira. Foreign currency per domestic currency. What kind of quotation is this? Foreign currency. Number of units of foreign currency. 2.5 units of foreign currency can exchange for one domestic currency. What type of quotation is this?
Indirect quotation.
Thank you. This is an indirect quotation. The company has decided to hedge its exposure by using forward market hedging. Therefore, we need to calculate, we need 6 months forward exchange rates. As of today, the spot rate is 2.5 waka to naira. We now need to forecast what is the forward rate in 6 months' time. For this transaction will happen in 6 months. We need to forecast the forward rate for 6 months. To forecast this, examiner says we should use the interest rate parity theory. Examiner says we should use interest rate parity theory. Look at it. Note, you may assume that the forward rate of exchange simply reflects the interest rate differential in the two countries. That is, it reflects the interest rate parity analysis of forward rates. Therefore, examiner has given you a gap. Forecast 6 month forward rates using interest rate parity theory. What is the formula? Let me refer you to it again so as to refresh our knowledge. So as to refresh our knowledge. Yeah, look at it here. Formula is 1 plus FIR divided by 1 plus DIR. Please just 1 minute. Please just 1 minute. Let's go on with the class. For direct quotes, the formula is 1 plus FIR over 1 plus DIR is equal to S over F. If you are giving direct quotes, sorry for a small break. What can we do? It was network glitch. All right, let's move on with the class. So we come here. You state your formula. Because I'm giving indirect code. The formula, the interest rates parity theory. The formula is 1 plus FIR over 1 plus DIR is equal to F over X, where FIR is equal to foreign interest rates your DIR domestic interest rates. Let's check the question. Interest rates in Nigeria. Look at it, please. Interest in Nigeria, 15% per annum. The equivalent rates in African country, 18% per annum. I'll pick this. Foreign interest rates, 18%. Interest rate in Nigeria, 15%. Let me expand this more. All right, let's go to this. We might need to expand more also. But let me just do this. All right. If I come here, our X is the spot rate. Examiner say 2.50. Our F, the forward rate. We don't know yet what we are trying to calculate. Now, this interest rate is per annum, but we want to forecast forward rate for 6 months. That means you need to get 6 months interest rates. In Nigeria, that is domestic, 6 months will be 6 over 12 multiplied by 15%. That will give you 7.5%. For foreign, 6 months will be 6 over 12 multiplied by 18. That will give you 9%. You can now return to the formula. You can return to the formula now. Let me expand this more. Oh, no. Or I can do this. I can come here now. One plus FIR, foreign interest freeze, 9%, 0.09 over 1 plus DIR, domestic rate, 0.075 is equal to F over X. X is 2.5. What is F? What is F? We can get this out. I have 1.09 over 1.075 is equal to F over 2.5. I can cross multiply. 1.075F is equal to 1.09 times 25. Therefore, my F let me expand this more. You can continue to use calculator. My F is equal to, so that you can give me the answer. F is equal to 1.09 multiplied by 2.5 divided by 1.075. Please, what is F?
2.55, sir.
2.53. Is that correct?
2.5349.
Approximately 2.53.
Okay, 2.5349. Leave it at that, or you can approximate to 2.535. That means the 6-month forward rate. What that means is that 6-month forward rate is equal to 2.535 waka per naira. That is the 6-month forward rate. This is the rate that will be used for the forward market hedging. This rate is calculated today for transaction that will happen in 6 months' time. The rate is calculated today, and that rate is binding on that transaction that will happen in 6 months' time. That is age. We can now determine the naira amount. For the forward market. For our forward market hedging, we can determine the naira amount. Our company based in Nigeria, we are expecting 500,000 waka in 6 months' time. And we have decided to hedge under forward markets. That means we can determine the Naira amount. Look at it. The 6 months expected receipts. $500,000 waka will be converted at the agreed forward rates. At the agreed forward rates. Therefore, expected Naira receipts is our expected Naira receipts will be equal to, look at it, we want to convert 100,000 waka to Naira at an exchange rate of 2.535 waka. Now the question is, am I going to divide by the exchange rate or am I going to multiply? I'm expecting 500,000 waka in 6 months' time. And I'm going to convert at 2.535. Now the question is, are we going to multiply to get Naira or are we going to divide? Please
Division.
note.
We are going to divide.
All right. Please note. If you are dealing with indirect quotes, if you are dealing with indirect quotes, and you want to convert foreign currency to your own domestic currency, you are going to divide. In this case, you are going to pick 500,000 waka divided by 2.535. That will give you the Naira amount you are going to collect in 6 months. Please divide. That will give you the Naira amount to be expected in 6 months' time. Oh yeah.
197,238.65. 197,238.66.
Please forget about the point. 197 to it is fine. Forget about the fraction for now. Round up to the nearest whole number. $500,000 divided by 2.535. You can round up to 9. That is the edge amount. That is edge receipt. That means as of today, our company based in Nigeria, we know the amount, the Naira amount we are going to get in 6 months' time. Regardless of fluctuation in exchange rate. Our edge receipts in Naira is equal to 197,239. We now move to the other aspect. We need to determine the exchange gain or loss. Examiner says you are required to calculate the exchange gain or loss as a result of hedging. If in 6 months' time, Naira gains 4%, we have 3 scenarios. Look at it, please. Case number 1. If Naira gains 4% in relation to Waka, this implies that Waka has depreciated by 4% against Naira. Thus, more Waka is needed to buy the same amount of Naira. Waka has depreciated against Naira. That means more of Waka is needed to be able to buy the same amount of Naira. To work on this, Naira gain 4%. Implication is that Waka has depreciated by 4%. Therefore, the spot rate in 6 months will be, to work that out. Remember, currently we have 2.5 Waka to Naira. That 2.5 Waka increases by 4%. Increase 2.5. Currently, the exchange rate is, let me refer you to it. Look at the exchange rate currently. 2.5 Waka per Naira. Now, Naira has gained 4%. It means that Waka has lost 4%. If Waka lost 4%, that means more of Waka is needed to buy 1 Naira. So this 2.5 increasing by 4%. What do you have? Increase 2.5 by 4%.
3.5.
That is do like this.
3.5.
2.5 multiplied by 1.4.
2.6.
2.6. That means the exchange rate will be 2.6 Waka. To per Naira. That means the exchange rate, the spot rate in 6 months will be 2.6 Waka per Naira. That means Naira is appreciating because more of Waka is needed to buy 1 Naira. Before now, it was 2.5 Waka to Naira. Now, more of Waka to to buy the same amount of naira. That means naira is appreciating while waka is depreciating. If this happens in 6 months, that means what will be the naira receipts? Assuming we have not hedged, we will have converted 500 waka to naira at this rate 2.6. Assuming we have not hedged, that means if we have not hedged, on hedge receipts, on hedge naira receipts is 500,000 waka divided by 2.6. What is the naira amount? $500,000
192,308.
divided by 2.6.
It is 192,308.
Yeah, correct. 192,308. 192,308. Assuming we have not hedged, assuming we have not hedged spot market, we will have received 192,308. Because we have hedged, we are going to receive 197,239. Are we gaining or losing? Let's compare. Hedge naira receipts 197,239. On hedge naira receipts 192,308. Because we have hedged under forward market, our company will receive 197,239. Assuming we have not hedged, we will have gotten 192,308. This is an exchange gain. By hedging, we are gaining now. Is that not this? We are receiving more naira now. Difference between the two. What is the exchange gain? I hope it's clear.
4,000.
4,000 what?
931.
4,931. 4,931. This is the exchange gain. This exchange gain. Because we are going to receive 197. Assuming we have not hedged, we would have received 192. That means there's a gain of 4,931 naira. Examiner says calculate, look at it. Look at the requirements. You are required to calculate how much actually gain or loss as a result of aging. If in 6 months' time, Naira in relation to Waka gain 4%. If Naira gain 4%, that means our company, we are going to gain 4,931 Naira exchange gain. That is scenario 1. Scenario 2, case 2. If Naira lost 2% in relation to Waka, if Naira lost 2% in relation to Waka, this implies that Waka will appreciate by 2%. If Naira lost 2%, that means Waka is appreciating 2%. Therefore, less of Waka is needed to buy the same amount of Naira. In this case, the spot rate in 6 months' time will be Naira lost 2%. That means Waka gained 2%. Less of Waka is needed to buy Naira. Out of that 2.5, remove 2%. Out of 2.5 Waka, remove 2%. You are left with what?
2.48.
2.45. 2.45.
2.45. This is how to do it. Just do like this. 2.5 multiplied by 98%. That will give you, that means you have removed 2%. You are going to have 2.45 Waka per Naira. In this case, Naira has lost 2%. Waka has gained 2%. The spot rate is now 2.45 Waka per Naira. If this happens, what will be the unhedged receipt?
204,000.
Naira receipts is equal to 500,000 Waka. That means you are going to convert Waka to Naira at 2.45. $500,000 Waka divided by 2.45. $204,082. Look at it. Amount here is 204,082. That means if assuming I have not hedged, assuming our company has not hedged under forward market, we will have received 204,082. But because we have hedged, our hedge amounts, we are going to receive 197,239. If we have not hedged with forward market, we'll have received 204,081. Obviously, this is lost, exchange loss, because we are receiving less naira as a result of hedging. This exchange loss. This is a loss. The difference. The difference.
6,843.
Yeah. 6,843. This is a loss. 6,843. As a result of hedging, our naira receipt has reduced by 6,843. As a result of hedging, and because naira lost 2%. Case number 3. If naira remains stable, if naira remains stable over 6-month period, this means that exchange rate between naira and waka will not change. Over 6-month period. Therefore, the spot rate will be 2.50 waka per naira, because the exchange rate between naira and waka is stable. There is no fluctuation. You can now get your unhedged naira receipt. Don't forget, indirect code, divide. Divide the foreign currency by the exchange rate. That will give us
200,000.
Sorry, 100,000.
200,000.
Yeah, 200, I mean. That means 200,000. Because we have H, the amount we are going to receive is H naira receipt. We are going to receive 197,239. Assuming we have not H, we will have received 200,000. What is the exchange loss?
$2,761.
2,761. 2,761. It will be in bracket. That is exchange loss. You are done with the computation. Examiner says you are required to calculate the exchange gain or loss as a result of hedging your exposure. If in 6 months' time, Naira gained 4% or Naira lost 2% or Naira remains stable, we are done with that requirement. Any question, please? Any question, please? All right, if there's no question, please move to page 126. Question number 6. If there's no question, please move to page 126, question 6. All right, let's move with the question. Let's move to this question. I'll read. Kingston PSC, in brackets KP, is a Nigerian company based in Aba. KP exports finished products to and imports raw materials from a country in African, from a company in Central Africa with a currency of Central dollar, in brackets C dollar. KP has the following expected transactions: 1 month expected receipt, $4.8. 1 month expected payment, 2.8 C dollar. 3 months expected receipt, $6 million. You have collected the following information: Central dollars per Naira. You are given the spot rates. The spot rate is for transaction now. You have 1 month forward rate, and you are given 3 month forward rates. You are given 2 rates. Oh, excuse me, please. Money market rate for KP, we have the deposit rate in Nigeria, and we have the borrowing rate. Requirements. Requirements A. Examiner says, discuss the significance to a multinational company of economic exposure. Why is economic exposure, or why should multinational pay attention to economic exposure? Why is economic exposure significant to multinational? Let us deal with this. Economic exposure is the risk that the present value of a company's future cash flows might be reduced by unexpected adverse exchange rate fluctuation. Economic risk involve or include transaction risks, the risk of adverse exchange rate movements occurring in the course of normal transaction, normal international transaction. Implication of economic exposure. Effect on international competitiveness. Companies with economic risk may not be able to compete with other companies in the world that affects ability to compete. It can also affect remittances from foreign subsidiaries to the parent company. It can affect investor. It can affect return on investment to the investor. Multinationals or a multinational company is highly exposed to economic risk. Please, you are going to try to understand and be able to produce this when the time is, at any point in time is needed. Requirement B. Examiner says, explain how inflation rates can be used to forecast exchange rates. How can we use inflation rates to forecast exchange rates between two currencies? What this question is texting is the purchasing power parity theory. The theory states that the differences in exchange rates between two currencies is as a result of differences in inflation rates between the countries. A Please, let's go on. We can use inflation rates to forecast exchange rates, provided we know the inflation rates between the two countries and we are giving the spot rates. We can now use the purchasing power parity principle to forecast exchange rates. Look at the explanation here. The law of one price suggests that identical goods selling in different countries should sell at the same price, and their exchange rates relate to identical values. This leads on to purchasing power parity theory, which suggests that changes in exchange rate over time reflect the relative changes in inflation rates. We can forecast exchange rates with inflation with the equation given with the equation below. Excuse me. We can read more on this. Requirements 2. Examiner says, calculate the expected Naira receipts in 1 month and in 3 months using the forward markets. Calculate the expected Naira receipts in 1 month and in 3 months using the forward markets. If you compare this question with the question we solved with the first question we solved, the first question, we have to estimate forward rate asset. But in this question, we are already forward rates and we are giving 3 months forward rates. That means we don't need to estimate again. For this question, examiner has given us 1 month forward rates. Examiner has given us 3 month forward rates. That means we don't need to estimate again. Because we have been given the rates. So we don't need to estimate the rate again. We now go to solution. All right, let's go to this. Like I said, for question on hedging, carry out your analysis. Look at the analysis. Kingston PLC is located in Nigeria. Hence, Naira is the domestic currency. Expected receipt and payments in African countries. Yes, I'm about asking. If you can't hear me, it's network. Your exercise patience. So, see dollar per naira. What type of quotation is this, please?
Direct quotation.
Hello? I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Please, can somebody hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Because simply saying yes, that means the class can hear me. So the second point is you are giving central dollar per naira. Is it a direct quote or indirect quote?
Indirect quote.
Indirect.
Yeah, thank you. This is an indirect quote. Please, you must identify the type of quote you are giving. That means 1.78. Look at the rates. You are giving low rates and high rates. You have the spot rate, 1 month forward rate. We now come to 1 month transaction. If you look at the question, this company has 2 transactions in 1 month's time. 1 month expected receipt, 4.8 million central dollar. 1 month expected payment, 2.8 million. Both transactions, receipt and payment, will happen in 1 month's time. And both transactions are in the same currency, central dollar. In this case, you are going to net off 4.8 minus 2.8. That will give me central dollar 2 million. Net expected receipts is 2 million central dollar. This is the amount that will be hedged. It is this 2 million naira you are going to hedge. We now move to forward markets. Forward market hedge. Look at the rates for 1 month. Look at the rate for 1 month, forward rate, 1.7826 to 1.7832. Now the question is, which of these forward rates are we going to use? 1 month. Because the transaction will happen in 1 month's time. You cannot use spot rate. Spot rate is for transaction immediately. The appropriate rate to select is 1 month forward rate. Now the question is, are we going to use the first rate, the lower rate, 1.7826, or are we going to use the higher rate, 1.7832? To answer this question, identify the buyer. Our company in Nigeria, we are expecting net receipt of 2 million. If we get this cash, we are going to approach our bank. We are going to be selling dollar. Bank will buy dollar. That means KP is the seller. Bank is the buyer. KP is the seller. Bank is the buyer. So at what rate will the bank buy under indirect quote? At what rate will the bank buy currency under
At the lower rate.
indirect quote?
At the lower rate.
That's not correct.
So,
At the higher rates.
Thank you.
obviously.
For indirect quote, bank will buy currency at higher rates. Why for direct quote, bank will buy at lower rates? In this case, applicable 1 month forward rate is 1.7832 central dollar per naira.
Okay.
Therefore, expected naira receipts. Therefore, expected naira receipts is, we are going to divide because it's indirect cost. We have central dollar 2 million divided by 1.7378
32.
32. What is the naira amount to be expected in 1 month's time?
One
What is
million
the
1,121,579.
Thank you, sir. Naira amount 1,121,579.
579.
That is the naira amount the company will expect in 1 month's time. That is the naira amount. If you hedge under forward market. We have settled 1 month transaction. Examiner says calculate the expected naira receipts in 1 month and in 3 months using forward market hedging. We have treated 1 month transaction. We now move to 3 month transaction. In 3 months' time, our company based in Nigeria, we are expecting 6 million central dollar. In this case, you cannot use 1 month forward rates. You move to 3 months forward rates. In this case, you cannot use 1 month forward rates. We move to 3 month forward rates. The next question is, are we going to use the low rates or the high rates? We are dealing with indirect codes. Who is the buyer? Who is the seller? Our company based in Nigeria. We are expecting $6 million. When we get the dollar, we are going to sell to bank. Bank will buy from us. That means the customer is the buyer. The customer is the seller.
The seller.
Bank is the buyer.
Buyer.
At what rate will the bank buy under indirect code?
The higher rate.
At the higher rate. The higher rate is 1.7850.
Exactly.
Come here. Applicable 3 months forward rate is central dollar 1.7850 per naira. Therefore, expected naira receipts in 3 months' time is, for indirect codes, I'll divide. Central dollar 6 million divided by 1.7850. Please, what's the naira amount?
3,361,344.
3,361,344.
344. 344.
344.
Yes.
Three, 4, 4.
Yeah.
We can do 3, 4, 5. That is the expected naira receipt in 3 months. You have resolved requirement C.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
I thought, as they said in 3 months, I thought maybe we'll apportion the figure with 3/12.
No.
Okay.
Examiner has given you. Don't do that. No, you are already.
Okay.
Examiner say it didn't say 1 year now. Examiner says 3 months. 3 months forward rates. It didn't say 1 year forward rate now.
Okay.
Examiner gave you 3 months forward rates. It didn't say 1 year forward rates. Is it better, sir?
Yes, sir.
Now requirement D. Oh. Examiner says, calculate the expected Naira receipt in 3 months' time using money market hedging. Recommend whether a forward market hedge or money market hedge should be used. This question is focused on 3-month transaction. Calculate the expected Naira receipt in 3 months' time using money market hedging. We have used forward market hedging for the 3 months. The Naira receipt will be 3,361,345. Examiner now says in B, calculate the expected receipts in Naira in 3 months' time using money market hedging. All right. What is money market hedging? How do we use money market hedging? For money market hedging, the company hedge by borrowing or lending on short-term basis so as to fix the exchange rates for future transaction. How do we go about this? You have like 4 steps or 5 steps. For money market hedging, you have like 4 steps or 5 steps. Let's go to this. Money market hedge for 3 months expected receipts. Central dollar, $6 million. We now move to step 1. Step 1. Our company based in Nigeria. We are expecting 6 million central dollar in 6 months' time. That transaction to my company is an asset. That transaction is an asset to us. That transaction to us is an asset, a foreign asset. Our company based in Nigeria, we are expecting $6 million in 3 months' time. That transaction is an asset. That transaction is an asset, foreign asset, to hedge. Look at your step 1. Create equivalent foreign liability. i.e., that is, borrow an amount in central dollar now. The amount borrowed plus the interest payable must equal to $6 million. Must equal to 6 million central dollar in 6 months' time. So that will be your step 1. We need to borrow an amount now. We are expecting 6 million. Oh, 3 months, sorry.
3 months, sir.
We are expecting $6 million in 3 months' time. That's an asset to me. I will now create an equivalent foreign liability. That is, borrow an amount in dollar now. The amount borrowed plus the interest payable must equal to $6 million in 3 months' time. In 3 months. Time. This will happen in your step 1. Now move to step 2. Determine the amount to be borrowed. Now, determine amount borrowed now. Now go and check borrowing rates in African countries. What is the borrowing rate in African countries? Look at the question.
13%.
That is deposit rate now. Under borrowing rate.
Sorry, 15%. 15%. 15%.
In African country, the annual borrowing rate is 15%. But the company will borrow for 3 months. That means I need to get 3-month borrowing rates. Now come here. 3 months borrowing rates in Central Africa. Central Africa. Is, if I want to get 3 months, 3 over 12 multiplied by 15%. That will give me 3 months borrowing rates. 3 point what? Is that correct?
Times 15%. Oh.
I hope it's correct.
It's correct, sir.
Yes.
Amounts to be borrowed now is equal to, we want to achieve 6 million in 3 months' time. What is the amount to be borrowed? Look at it. The target amount, 6 million. Divided by 1 plus the borrowing rate. 0.0375. That is 6 million divided by 1.0375. Please compose the amount to be borrowed now.
$5,783,133.
5,783,133. This is the amount our company based in Nigeria will borrow now. This is the amount our company based in Nigeria will borrow now. That will now take us to step 4. That will take us to step number 4 or step number 3. The amount borrowed now will be converted to local currency. That is Naira. Step 3. Step 3. Amount borrowed should be converted to domestic currency. In bracket Naira. Using the spot rates. Go and check the spot rates. You are giving 1.7818 to 1.7822. Are we going to use the first rate or the second rate? But you can answer that question. Do analysis. We have borrowed an amount in dollar. That means we have the cash. We now need to convert this cash to our local currency. In this case, our company will be selling dollar. Bank will buy. Under indirect code, bank will buy at the higher rate. Using the spot rate 1.7832. Oh, sorry, 22.
Oh.
$1.7822. That is the appropriate spot rate to you. We now convert the dollar to Naira. Naira amount. Naira amount. We have borrowed central dollar 5,783,133. To convert to dollar, remember we are dealing with indirect code. You are going to divide 1.7822. What is the Naira amount?
$3.244941.
Thank you, sir. Naira amount
3.244.
244,941. It's not points, please.
Oh,
There's
sorry.
no points there.
No,
It's in
sorry.
million.
3,244,000. Yes, sorry.
That is the Naira amount. You have in your step 3, you are going to convert the amount borrowed to your own local currency. That will now take us to the last, to step 4. All right, step. We have converted the amount to Naira. Step 4. What will the company do with this Naira amount? What will the company do with the Naira amount? In practice, company can decide to do whatever they like with their money. In practice, company can decide to do whatever they like with their money. But for the purpose of this exam, you are going to assume that the company will
Deposit it.
this money for 3 months. Thank you. So step 4, invest the Naira amount in brackets, Naira amount for 3 months in Nigeria money market. It's in Nigeria. What is the deposit rate in Nigeria? Go check.
Nine percent.
9%. That is annual deposit rate. But we are going to deposit for 3 months. So 3-month deposit rate in Nigeria. We come here. 3 months. Three over 12 multiplied by 9%. What is the rate? That should give us 2.25. I'll give us 2.25. I hope I'm correct.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to invest 3,244,000. We are going to invest 3,244,941 for 3 months. What is the expected Naira receipt in 3 months?
73,011 Naira.
We see Apple. You are going to invest 3 million. 3,244,491. How much are you going to expect in 3 months' time? At 2.25.
Okay, times 3%.
Look at it. Expected Naira receipts in 3 months
319
is equal to 3,244,941 multiplied by 1 plus the rate 0.0225.
The result is 3,317,952.
Okay. 219.
The result is
3 million.
3 million. Result is 3 million. Just 1 minute. Let me pick my pen.
Yeah.
It's trying to get the pen. The network is. Our result, let me see. Pen. $3,317,952. 952. That is the Naira amount that you are going to expect in 3 months' time. That is the Naira I'm going to expect in 3 months' time. Look at the first step. As that amount will be invested for the period of the transaction, 3 months. You can now recommend, should we use for this transaction. We can now recommend use money market hedging, or should we use okay, I'll move it to up. I know. It's back now, okay? Take this one. It's hanging. It's hanging here. The angle. That should be it's moving. This is 317,952. Now compare for forward market hedging. The Naira receipt is 3,361,345. For money market hedging, Naira receipt is 3,317,952. If you compare this, the forward market hedging will give so our recommendation. Recommendation. Use forward market hedge. For the 3-month transaction. because that will give us the higher Naira receipt. We are done with that question. We are done with the question. If you look at the requirement F, discuss 4 possible problems of using futures contracts to hedge exchange risk. Possible problems with futures contracts. 1, all currencies are benchmark. It's hanging up. Benchmark against United States dollar. Problem 2. It cannot accommodate fraction. Number 3, futures contracts. Futures contracts are available only in limited currencies. Futures contracts are available only in limited currencies. And the last one, the contracts are for short period of time. Futures contracts are for short period of time. With question. Any question for me, please? Please carefully study what we have done today. Yeah, any question for me? All right, if there's no question, shall we call it a good night? Let's have a blessed evening. May God give us a better understanding.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Good
Amen.
night, sir.